All right, everybody, it's good to be back. I am here talking with my friends Jess Carey and Noelle Rhodes about our best tips for getting dinner on the table. We're going to start this conversation off with what are your favorite, easiest, go-to, love it meals that you have in your rotation?
I have an Instant Pot soup. I don't want to get the name wrong, but I make it all the time. My family loves it. People are very impressed with my cooking skills when I make it, which is pretty much the goal. Hold on one second. I think it's Tuscan, where in the Instant Pot, I saute a little Italian sausage. Then I put in some diced tomato, some vegetable broth. I dice up some sun-dried tomatoes, throw that in there, put a little tortellini, season it, and then I let it cook for like 10 minutes. Then I open it up, throw in a little bit of kale, put a little dash of heavy cream. People think I'm amazing. I make it all the time.
That sounds amazing to me.
Yeah, it's the Zuppa Toscana Instant Pot soup. If you Google it on the internet, it will give you all the ways you can make it.
I might have to Google it and put it in the show notes.
It's really good.
One of our favorite go-to meals is a pasta. It is called chicken gorgonzola. I found it in a pasta cookbook that I bought years ago from Barnes and Noble. It is, you saute chicken with garlic and olive oil. And then once that's nice and caramelized, you add white wine to deglaze the pan, throw in some heavy cream, and then you're also making broccoli. And then what happens is you take your bowl and you put the gorgonzola in the bowl, right? And I kind of do it at the beginning of the meal so it comes to room temperature. And then you pour the pasta in, mix it up, pour the broccoli in, and just let that gorgonzola melt in that cream sauce with the heat of the pasta. And it is like, it feels fancy because it's gorgonzola, because I don't eat a lot. I mean, I have some people eat it in their salad. That's the only time I ever eat it. And it feels fancy and it feeds a lot. And throw a salad with that and maybe some bread and you're done.
Oh, yeah. Sounds delish.
Yeah.
My go-to is called chicken picante. It is chicken breasts with jarred salsa, a little Dijon mustard, and some brown sugar.
Oh.
Mix those things up, dump it on top of the chicken, bake it for 30 minutes, and serve it over rice. Delish.
Oh my gosh, that sounds awesome.
It is very awesome. I cannot tell you how many guests I have served that to that are like, wow, this is so good. Can I get the recipe? And I almost want to say, oh, it's really hard. It's really hard. It takes forever.
It sounds delicious.
It takes 5 minutes to make. So, and just chuck it in the oven and it's awesome. So that's my go-to.
What vegetable would you pair with it?
Oh, any green, salad, roasted broccoli, asparagus, green beans, any of those things would be great.
With it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it does have a bit of a like Spanish sort of vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, but any green, I've served it with every different kind you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've been really into roasted vegetables lately. So anything you can throw in the oven at the same time, I'm sure it makes that meal even easier.
I like to roast beets and butternut squash together, and then I throw it on a salad.
Yes.
Ooh.
It's gorgeous.
Yes, it is. I concur with that.
Yeah. You could also throw that over couscous. Maybe add some shallots, roast it with some shallots.
Ooh, now we're getting bougie up in here. Okay.
I think shallots are highly underrated because you can throw that in a kale salad and all of a sudden it's like sweet.
You know what? Yeah. If you ever make a mac and cheese, saute a little shallot, put it in there. It will.
Really?
It's a game changer. Yeah.
Wow. Look at all these tips.
Someone gave me that tip. That's not original to me. None of the cooking things I'm going to say are original to me because I'm not a good cook. I mean, when I first got married, I feel like I've mentioned this in the podcast.
Yes, and the chores. We've talked about this. The domestic division of labor.
My husband was cheating on me with Wendy's for a whole year. Didn't even know. But to be fair, I was cooking raw pork chops. Like I didn't know how to cook a pork chop. Mm-hmm. So I've grown in this area. I'm excited to talk about this episode.
Okay. All right, so let's have at it. Let's go around and take some turns talking about our favorite tips that help us get dinner on the table because we can all use them. I mean, I have friends been cooking for years and they're like, I can't do it anymore. So I'll go first. So one of the favorite things that I like to do is do make ahead slow cooker meals. So I can't remember whose idea this was, who started it, but a friend of mine was like, found this on the internet. Why don't here's 10 recipes. Let's shop for everything, go over somebody's house and assemble 10 different meals. And then we bring them home, we put them in the freezer, and then they're ready to go. And that's what we did. And it was super successful. It like we've done it differently, but for the most part, like one person will just like shop the whole order. And I tend to just do a grocery order because there's enough. And when you do a grocery order, you can be very meticulous about what you're getting. It's less stressful than going and shopping for it yourself. And so like the delivery or the shop fee is $4.99. I'm like, I'm willing to pay for that to have you get, the 10 cans of this and 5 bags of that. And like, you can just be really methodical. And then you kind of set the bags up, you go around, you dump in ingredients. Sometimes we've gone like recipe by recipe and everyone puts the peppers in and when somebody else puts all the beans in and somebody else follows up with this ingredient and then you put the meat. Like, so we kind of have the system, we catch up, we talk to one another, and it is perfect on days where we have sports, when I know we're really not going to be walking through that door until 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. And I know that when we get home, we're going to want something to eat. It's ready to go. And so
that sounds enticing. A slow cooker party.
mm-hmm.
Like just have your, girlfriends over and make up these amazing bags.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's incredible. And it feeds, they're decent sized portions. So it feeds a lot of people.
Do you have like a deep freezer though? Like where do you keep these things?
Well, no, I do have a small refrigerator in the basement with a freezer, but like once you take them and you lay them flat, you kind of just stack them. I mean, you want to have some room in your fridge, but they take up less room than you think they would.
Okay.
Yeah. You just seal them nice in the bag. You lay them flat. Yeah, it's actually better to lay them flat, I've found. Because one year I did it and they got stuck in all these weird sort of shapes. And that was a nightmare. Okay. Getting them undone.
Right.
But yeah, you do have to have a little bit of freezer space, but you could do 5 meals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I actually had a friend of mine. So this is another like, philanthropy tip. What? I don't know. Anyways, whatever that word is. Philanthropic idea. There you go. That's what I was looking for. I had a friend bring me a slow cooker freezer meal because I'd never done them myself.
Oh.
And so, we have gone through some seasons of grief this past year. And so that was one of the things. She goes, I'm just going to bring you a freezer meal. You throw it in your slow cooker, like whenever you need a meal. And I was like, brilliant, because at first we had tons of food.
Yeah.
But then like you kind of go through the season and you still don't feel like cooking. And so that was so clutch. I just took it, dumped it in. And so it was a great way to gift to a friend too. So,
oh my gosh, I love that.
That's a great idea too.
That's a good idea.
I love that because unfortunately, like if I want to cook a meal from somebody, but it's a really, really tough season for me and I don't really get around to doing it just for the fact that I'm just so busy. I feel guilty. Yeah. Do I make it homemade? Do I run to Costco? Costco's out of the way. I wasn't planning on going this week. And I sometimes will let that prevent me from being generous or doing what I'd like to do for somebody. So if I had a stash in the freezer, I never even thought of dropping that over.
It was great. I mean, that was an answer to prayer way past when people were praying for us. So that's what I'll say about that.
That's good.
That's awesome. I mean, one of the things I was thinking about, so much pressure on the dinner stuff. I feel that way. So I always try to remember that dinner is more than just the food. It's an opportunity to connect, all that stuff. And that stuff I do well in. I'm better than cooking. So I do try to make dinner time, like I try to be prepared with steering the conversation, even if we're just eating cereal, because sometimes we do that. And that's okay. Sometimes we are like, this is a cereal night. This is a mom's making pancakes from a box night. But as long as we're connecting, then I feel like I'm nourishing their souls.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I do try to think about things I'm going to talk about with my kids and things like that in preparation of just putting food out. But to be honest with you, I do get bored like with what I make a lot. So I have harnessed the power of Instagram, and I have legit asked people, like I have done Instagrams where I'm like, what are you making?
Your
Yeah.
Tell
stories.
me. And I have gotten hundreds of responses of like links to recipes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Best thing I ever could have done. Because I feel like Pinterest, you can kind of go on a rabbit hole with Pinterest. But if
Yeah.
people are just telling you, I made this, it was awesome, it was so simple,
Yeah.
it's like you believe it more than the Pinterest.
Mhm.
So I just do that. I'll just like put it out there, like, what are you making? Give me
Yeah,
an
it's
idea.
Great.
And it's kind of fun and exciting because I do get a little bored. That's kind of like my main thing is I get bored with it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well,
I agree with
after
that.
we traveled to France, we came home and I'm like, why can't we just have bread, cheese, and salami? Like,
Yes.
Yeah, why not?
like why do we need to like put something on the stove? Like we can fill
Yep.
up with just a little bit of this, throw a fruit in, and I'm like, we're done. Like I'm full. Do we need anything
Charcuterie,
else? I don't
baby.
need anything
Oh,
else. Like
that's what I mean. My family we do like, here are I don't want to cook. I don't want to touch anything. I just want to sit and relax. I will either make nachos
yes.
and just throw tortilla chips on a cookie sheet and dump a bunch of stuff on top,
Yep.
bake it for a few minutes, and boom, that's it. Like paper
Yep.
plates, we're gonna eat, that's fine. Or charcuterie. I'll just like throw out,
Charcuterie.
what do I have? Put it on a board and off we go.
We
Yeah.
do charcuterie almost every weekend.
Yeah, I
I
love
go to
it.
Trader, I go because well, I'm Italian.
Yeah.
So I go to Trader Joe's, or if I'm feeling fancy, I go to Sergio's, get some cheeses, get some
Or
meat.
ShopRite to get provolone where you run into Cheryl.
I know. Funny enough, I don't go to ShopRite for my provolone, but no, I'll go and I'll just get a bunch of cheeses and meats and some
Yeah.
grapes, some olives, and
Mhm.
just be like, hey, put this on a plate. And my family loves it. I
Yeah.
mean, they love
Yeah.
that more than a home cooked whatever. They could just eat that all the time. So
Yeah.
it
Well, I'll
counts.
take that to the next level. We have a raclette. So it's like the top pan, the top thing gets hot like a griddle, and then underneath there's these like
Yeah.
heat lamps. So we do the bread, salami, whatever like veggies we've sauteed on top, and then meat and cheese, and you put it underneath and it just melts, and you're just eating these little like bites that are just
Yeah.
this bread, like crouton sort of bruschetta type things
Yeah.
where they're just bites of whatever you pile and melt on the cheese. And we just all
Oh
like,
my goodness. I
there's
want to
no
go to
knife and
Kimberly's
fork.
house.
There's no, like, we don't even sit. We just all stand around the island
Yeah.
and like feed ourselves.
I feel like between the two of you, I am like, you guys, I just pulled out my hamburger helper box and we just went that route. Okay.
No.
That
Don't
sounds
knock-
so bougie.
Don't knock your
no.
chicken piccata.
That's-
That sounded really. Don't let
Yes.
that go. That's
Yes.
your
Yeah.
your signature. I
Yeah.
mean, the other thing too is, I mean, I don't know. I was thinking of this, but like I legit, I'll be like Troy to my husband, I'm like, you got to cook twice this week. I mean, because
Mm.
I'm working. I mean,
Mhm.
different seasons, different things, right? So I don't know. You got to look at your season and be like, where do I need the help to get the dinner on the table? And there are just a few nights where he's not playing darts. And I'm like, these are the nights you're gonna make us dinner. And I'll say, what do you want to make? I'll get the stuff. I'll even lay it out for you. But even just knowing that he's gonna come home and make it is like a gift
Yeah.
to me.
Mhm.
So I just communicate that, which I feel like is a nod to one of the episodes that we had together where it was talked about splitting the household
Yeah.
responsibilities. Cooking is a big one for us, and
Yeah.
that really has helped us get dinner on the table, because if it's
Yeah.
got to be me 7 days a week,
Yeah.
that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's not
Well,
gonna
my
happen.
husband will do Carl's Pizza. That's what he's called it for years. And it's just French bread, cut it in half, or Italian bread. You put pizza quick on it, mozzarella, a little Italian seasoning, you just put it in the oven. So it's like French bread pizza. That's what he calls it. And like sometimes if we have pepperonis, we'll throw some on, little hot pepper. Like, but that's it. Like if dad's in charge, that's what we're eating.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Well, I cheat in the sense of we used to fight a lot about what we were going to have for dinner. I was always the cook. Like I cooked and I still cook 90% of the meals. My husband doesn't cook. He doesn't want to learn how to cook, but he will order takeout if I don't feel like it. So God bless him for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I would always say, well, what do you want for dinner? You know, do you want chicken? Do you want lamb? Do you want, hamburgers? What do you want? I don't care, whatever you want. And then you're in this endless cycle of,
No,
it's horrible.
no.
So I started using a menu planning app, and I've used it for over 10 years.
Wow.
And no,
That's a relationship.
I am committed to this thing. It
Yeah.
has saved my life so many times, and we don't fight anymore. And it's ultra convenient for me. So we are going to put a link in the show notes for this thing, I think, but it's called E-Meals. That's what it's called. And it's just a menu planning app. I do pay for it. But I can choose like even the diet that I want to be on. If we are kind of a clean eating family. So lots of veggies, high quality meat, that kind of a thing is what we eat most of the time. But we went through seasons where we were vegetarian. And so I literally just changed I want to eat vegetarian this time. And I got a whole new group of meals that I could choose from. And it links to my online shopping platform. So I can literally do my meal planning and my grocery shopping in less than an hour every single week.
Oh my gosh.
It's amazing.
Wow.
So it provides you with recipe ideas. It's not
It's
just
the full recipe.
it's not just okay.
So it's the full recipe. You can choose which recipes you want to add to your week. Like I never cook 7 meals a week. I usually cook 5 or thereabout. So I drop those into my shopping list. It generates a shopping list. I can add all the other things to my shopping list that are, like laundry detergent and house cleaner.
Can you upload your own menus?
No, you can't upload your own, but you can favorite meals that your family loves. So there have been a couple that are like, oh my gosh, mom, you have to make this again. So when I have a week that the menu doesn't offer something that I like it might be like, okay, we're doing lamb chops. And I'm like, no, lamb chops are $28 a pound. We're not having that. I'll just slate in one of my favorites into my shopping list.
Oh, wow.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think?
I think it has potential to
revolutionize your
very
life.
helpful in my life.
Yeah. I use a menu app, but it doesn't give me meals. And it's not, and I've been using it for a very long time, probably as long as you have. And I haven't seen the platform transform. Like,
yeah, this one has.
This
like,
is basic. This is like, you can download recipes from the internet. It'll upload it into your like recipe list. And then very similar, you can pick your or you can manually put your favorite recipes in.
Yeah.
And then you can pick them, schedule them, you drag them to the days, and then it will create your grocery list. But it's not providing you with any new ideas. Right.
I like this because it's too many things I got to think about. I like to be creative, but I don't really want to be creative with my menu planning. No. And I like to eat, but I don't want to be responsible for what we're going to eat.
Yeah.
Like,
see, my kids are big foodies. So we will like I'll say, what do you want? And they'll just pull up their Pinterest board. Or like my son, like, he'll be like, oh, I saw this on TikTok, mom. Like my kids know what they want. So we like poring over the cookbooks. We like tagging things and, that's kind of fun for us to do, but I could see where if that's not your thing.
Or if you're responsible for it all the time, like, you just want to say, okay, these are the 5 meals that I'm prepared to make. If your kids, and I love one of the ideas that we tossed around was like, make your kids cook, right? Yeah. As they get older. But it's sort of like, okay, if you want to go like crazy foodie and like make some delicious meal, I will add those things to our grocery list and you go for it. Like, I'm not going to stop you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I went through a season, and we do it sometimes now too, is like, I'd say you're each responsible for one night this week. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you want to make breakfast. I don't care if you want to make nachos. I don't care if you want to make sesame crusted scallops. Like, you pick them. We can't do that every night, but every couple weeks.
Noelle's face is killing me right now.
I just think, because I have a legit baker. Like one of my kids is like a serious baker. My food bill is insane right now.
Oh, I know.
Because he's making bread and crap like that. And like,
Oh yeah.
it's just, but yeah, I wish they did more cooking than baking. We have a
Yeah.
lot of baked stuff here.
Yeah. Well, my daughter just switched her major to hospitality management and culinary science. So if that tells you like what we have going on in our house. But meal planning, talk to me about like how you guys meal plan. What are your meal plan tips? I have a few, but I'd love to hear like what do you do with meal planning? Because if you're using this app, when do you do it? How do you do it?
So it sends me when new menus are available. So I can either do it right then, but
Mhm.
typically I do it right before I know that I need to go to the grocery store,
Mhm.
right? So it's like when I know that I need to pick up milk and, whatever, that's when I do it. And it's just available to me at my convenience. So yeah,
Wow.
I don't really have like, I do it every Sunday or I do it every,
Mhm. Mhm.
it's when it's convenient for me.
Yeah, it's good. For a long time, I would do a whole month at a time. And
Oh,
it sounds better than it is. No, let me tell you, I find that it's easier to do a month than it is to do a week. And here's why. Because I know every Tuesday you have sports at 5. So every Tuesday we're gonna have a soup. Or every,
okay.
on Thursdays is X, Y, and Z. So that's going to be a slow cooker meal. Like I can plug and play. Like when nobody has an activity, that's like a Tuesday night. Well, maybe we do a new recipe because we have time to actually follow a recipe we've never made before. So I get a sense of like what's going on in our family. What are these days like? And then that kind of informs how I build my menu. So it's easy for me to come up with, because what'll happen, I guess, because my eyes are bigger than my stomach or whatever is the expression, I'll go through and I'll find like 3 soups I want. So I just plug them into like 3 weeks as opposed to which one would I do this week? And then I'm going to forget the one I wanted to try that I pulled out of the magazine. I just sort of like plug them in. And it really helps me to get like a big picture, okay, every Friday night we're going to do a make a head meal because it's Mama Sabbath, or Saturday nights we usually go out. Let's plan to go out this night, and I kind of can, we're not rigid. We definitely like flow and with it, but I found that just eliminating the, what do you want? I don't know. What do you want? Well, what do we have? I don't know. We don't have anything. Yes, we do. I want to go out. No, we have chicken. I have to use it before it goes bad. Like it just eliminates that whole discussion plus time. Like I could spend up to 20 to 30 minutes staring at the fridge wondering what to make. And you're
Right.
just saving yourself an incredible amount of time.
I'll have to try the month menu planning for February. It sounds daunting, but I will try it. This is where I suck, is the menu planning thing. But I have gotten better. I think a key is like you sort of touched on it, is like theme nights. That just because the more like decisions I can eliminate, the better. So like but I've done it where like we called Mondays, Mamma Mia Mondays, and that's where I made like Italian food. Tuesdays always Taco Tuesday, so it's some sort of like Mexican dish. Wednesday, used to be a crazy day. And of course, the thing is every season changes with sports schedules in my
Yep.
family. So even like that, it just changed. It's like, rugby season. Okay, well then we have to always make sure we have an instant pot meal on Wednesdays because we're gonna be at rugby forever. I do try to on Sundays do like a Sunday gravy with like brajol and sausage. And I try to make a lot of dinners that can be replicated for lunch as leftovers, just to kind of help with that, because my kids don't eat school lunches. They like to eat homemade stuff. So I try to do that, but it's a goal of mine to get better at menu planning. I just am not great at it. And I don't stick to the menu I plan. That's the problem I have. I'll make a menu plan, but I'm like, I don't want to eat this tonight. And I don't, and I'll just do something different. So I don't know. I just gotta stick to it, I guess.
Yeah, you got to stick to it. Work the plan. What is it? Make a plan, work the plan.
Be flexible with the plan.
Yeah, you can be flexible, but not too flexible.
Yeah, I think for me, some of the things, give yourself a little grace, with regards to meal planning. And I love what Noelle, what you said at the beginning. It's kind of like, it doesn't have to always be about the food. You know, sometimes it's just about getting a bit of sustenance in your belly and having a great conversation, you know. And I have some, what I would call pantry meal go-tos that are just sort of always there, that I just have in my back pocket that I can roll out in 20 minutes or less
Right.
Mhm.
without much effort.
Yeah.
And I think you always have to have those. Mine are quesadillas. Like, I'll do quesadillas of every variety. I will throw leftovers from anything in a quesadilla with cheese.
Because you can.
Of course. And it's
Yeah.
delicious. And
Yeah.
everyone loves a good quesadilla. So
Definitely.
why not? And the other thing that I do a lot is I'll do fried rice
Mm.
because it's really easy. And you can put almost anything in it. Some of the best, like, my family's been like, Mom, can we have this fried rice again? And I'm like, no, you will never have this again, because we will never have roasted Brussels sprouts and pot roast left over in the fridge that I'm going to put in the fried rice.
Right.
So how do you bring it all together? Like fried rice seems daunting. I know it's not as daunting as it seems, right? But like, what is it that makes it all connect?
Soy
Is
sauce.
it just soy sauce? Okay. I mean, it's not just like
That's really actually
rice and
the trick to all
vegetables, because that's
things.
very different than fried rice.
So the key to fried rice is, you know, first of all, you saute all the stuff, not the rice first.
Mhm.
I use a touch of sesame oil, which always makes things
Yum.
beautiful.
Mhm.
So it's like all your veggies, your meat, whatever. If you're going to go meatless, great. And then you throw in your rice last. And you may need to add a little bit more oil, because like caramelizing or like just getting that rice a little bit fried is
Yeah.
really cool. And then the last thing is soy sauce. Just soy sauce it up. I mean, you don't want it dripping with soy sauce. That's
Yeah.
just too much
Do you do an
sodium
egg?
for anybody. It depends. I like
Oh.
egg in my fried rice, but
Yeah,
not
I
everybody
like egg.
does.
Yeah.
I also use that coconut aminos from
Oh,
Trader
yeah.
Joe's instead of soy
Yes.
sauce, and it makes
What
me feel
is
better
it?
about. It's called like coconut aminos,
Mhm.
and it's in Trader Joe's offers it, and it just makes you feel better about yourself than just
Yeah.
dumping soy sauce in there.
This is
Hmm.
true. It is a vegan substitute for soy sauce.
It is.
Oh, well,
But it
isn't
also
soy
tastes
vegan?
nice.
And it's also wheat free. It's also a gluten free. The
Oh, because
coconut
soy has
aminos.
gluten.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I like it better. I'm not gonna
It's
lie.
very good. Very good.
I use it all the time.
Okay,
All the
Great
time.
tip, Noelle.
Here for it.
that's a good one. You know what I do? So as we're recording this, I'm at the end of a modified Daniel fast. And so years ago, I discovered Green Chef, which is one of those make at home meal prep services.
Mhm.
And it's definitely not something that I would have ever used, except for when it first came out. It was the only one at the time that was offering vegan options. And I was fasting. I don't know how many years I've been fasting the month of January, probably like 10 years, right? So it's become this thing. And the first couple of years I did it, it was horrible. I mean, I spent more time thinking about the food than I did like drawing close to Jesus. And it was like, what is the point of this, God? Like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Mhm.
And then I discovered Green Chef and I was like, you mean they can figure it out for me? I mean, those first couple of times I did it, I threw away food because I would take one bite and go, this is disgusting. And my husband would be like, that is gross. And then we would just throw out a full meal. Like it was crazy because I was like not accustomed to like this alternate way of eating. And so this meal service has been amazing. It's just changed my experience. It's taken the guesswork out of like what my meal plan should be in this particular season. And then what I do is I still have the service going once a month when I'm not fasting. And speaking about sports season, it's come in really handy this month because my son wrestles and he's got to cut weight. And so the best way to do it is to just load up on those veggies and life-giving food. And he'll do a couple like meatless nights with me because he's like, Mom, I got to make weight tomorrow. And it's not a lot of weight. Like it's between like 3, maybe 4 pounds, but like he can really lose that in his sleep and just not have wings and pizza for dinner. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's very easy for him to shed those pounds, but it works for us.
Yeah.
Wow.
you know.
Yeah, I've heard good things about a Green Chef. I feel like my sister was doing something similar. I can't remember what it was called. HelloFresh, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And she loved it.
There's
It
no
was
shame.
tough. Well, it's tough to do it with a family of 4, I think. But family of 2, she was loving it.
Well, I did it. I actually am registered for 2 people, but
Okay.
it feeds my whole family.
I feel like you guys eat a lot less than we do, though. We eat a lot.
Well, for my kids, we'll add a protein. Like I don't make them eat
Okay.
it without a meat. And even when I get it like throughout the year, I still get the vegan version and then I'll add a little bit to it. But see, the thing is with it, it's like they eat enough. This is my take on these modified diets
Okay.
that I know some people do full time all the time.
Mm-hmm.
There's like when you don't have that meat and dairy and you want to eat less of it. So you stop eating when you're not hungry. Whereas opposed to if I've got meat in it and I'm loving it, I will eat till I cannot eat anymore. So like, I'm surprised how much less food I actually need to eat when I eat this way.
Wow.
Because I'm very aware of like, oh, that was good. I don't need any more, but I want more. You know, when it comes to those, my favorite, chicken cutlet, fried in olive oil with pasta. Like I know that I am eating like anything
Right.
Chinese. I can just keep eating. Like I never want to stop. But like these meals, you want to stop. I mean,
You
But
want
do
to be
you want to
over.
stop like because it's really not good?
it's good, it's tasty, it's satisfying, but it doesn't compel you to eat more than you should. That's my opinion. I've grown to love eating this way, not enough to do it permanently. I don't have any particular convictions that would cause me to continue to do it when I'm not doing it for spiritual reasons, but I see a lot of value in it and I do enjoy it. And it's opened my eyes to lots of different foods that I would have never bought or eaten. Like I never ate kale before this, and certainly not like Swiss chard. Like that's not, if I see a recipe of Swiss chard, I'm moving on. Like
Yeah.
there's things that you just never buy in the grocery store, but yet if you do a meal service like this, all of a sudden they're shipping you this with jicama. And so you can do like a jicama slaw and you're like, I don't even know, I've never even seen this in the grocery store before. Like it just takes you out of your comfort zone a little bit, allows you to try things you've never tried. So it's, it's worth doing.
Some jicama in my food. Dag nabbit.
Can I get some jicama on my box next time?
I
Oh
want
my
jicama
goodness.
on my fried rice.
Yeah, I'm sure it would taste amazing in fried rice.
I'm sure it would.
I'm just thinking, when my sister was I'm not throwing shade on my sister, but I am. She was doing HelloFresh and it wasn't the vegan one. It was like when they sent you chicken, the chicken was like this big.
Oh,
and I'm like, that's not gonna feed.
I think that makes a difference.
Yeah.
It might be a different story if I was getting a meat-based meals. I don't know, because I've never ordered them that way.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was just like it was a sad state, and she was like trying to split it with everybody, and I was like, no, you're gonna have to order pizza here.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of them sending you something. I like that, and it's like something it's like new, like something you wouldn't do before. That's very exciting to me. I like that.
Yeah.
I used to. This is a little fun fact about me before I entered the world of Christian authorship. I had a blog called Leftover Remix.
Oh,
and it was all about food. Like it was all about taking your leftovers from whatever and then remixing them 2 or 3 different times in 2 or 3 different ways. Because I had loads of girlfriends whose husbands wouldn't eat leftovers. They like refused.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, they're fired. They're fired. I was like,
against leftovers.
I don't know. I mean, I love leftovers.
So intolerant.
But I do think, okay, after you've had leftovers for like a couple times, you're like, okay, I'm done.
You have to change the form. If you change the form,
yes,
all of a sudden it's completely different.
Yeah.
That's what I find with my kids.
The leftover remix.
Yes.
Like,
Wait,
just
does
have
this
to make
blog still exist?
It does not. I shut it down.
Oh,
I know, it's so sad.
The archive.
Well, I was so
Resurrected.
embarrassed. I was so embarrassed by like, now that I know anything about blogging, I was like, I can't have this attached to me. So that's why I archived the whole
So
thing.
tell us some of the most underrated or least obvious things that we could use over. So like, what's something that people always throw out because they don't think they
Yeah.
can eat it again? But it's
Chicken
like-
curry.
Oh, I just
Mm.
made that tonight.
Yeah. So like, chicken curry, it's like, oh, it can only be chicken curry. It's like, no, it can't. Throw that chicken curry in a soup. You make a turmeric ginger soup. Boom. You can make a chicken curry pasta with it. You just, instead of serving it over rice, you serve it and you add a little coconut milk, a little extra. You've got a
Ooh.
chicken curry pasta.
I just made
Guess
chicken
what?
curry.
I made a curried quesadilla. Oh, yes, I did.
Of
Yeah,
course.
Yeah, that sounds
with-
good.
But I mixed the chicken curry with like my roasted veggies, like you mentioned, the beets
Yeah.
and butternut squash and
Yeah.
stuff like
Or
that.
chickpeas would go good with that.
Yeah, but I like totally mixed it up. I put parsnips, carrots, beets in with the chicken curry in a quesadilla. Delish.
Mm.
Can we talk about chickpeas for a hot second? They're
Mhm.
very
Yeah.
underrated.
Yes.
Yes.
And we have gone through it. We're in a season right now where we're like roasting chickpeas, like as if this is the greatest thing that's ever happened to us.
Yeah.
We roast these chickpeas. We put a block of feta in the middle of a cooking sheet, surround it with chickpeas, a little olive oil, some little cherry tomatoes, a little parsley, garlic, salt, pepper, the whole shebang. Cook in the oven for 25 minutes, and they just eat it as it is.
That sounds
Yum.
divine.
It's delicious. It's amazing. You could put it in pasta too, but
Yeah.
they just want the roasted chickpeas with little roasted feta, and they're happy as clams. They make it for their lunch all the time.
Wow.
Yum.
That's going on the roster for me for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leftovers, French fries. You can eat
Oh.
French fries, leftover French fries. I mean, like if I
Wow.
well, if I have them from a restaurant, I bring them home and I will eat them if you put it in the broiler and let them
Yeah, yeah.
toast back up.
Yeah.
But I like to dice them up, little onions and peppers, and eat them with
Okay.
breakfast hash.
Okay, that I will
Yup.
accept. You can hash.
You can even mix some eggs in with it and make like a
Yeah,
frittata.
I'll accept that. I don't know if I would eat them as fries again.
Well, you got to get
Especially
the
not cold wilty ones. That's the
No.
worst.
No,
You
but
got to
I
get them
would.
crispy.
I would dice them up and put them along. Because you can hash anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can. I mean, my God.
Okay, somebody remix some mashed potatoes for me.
We do it all the time.
What do you do?
Baked potato
Oh,
soup,
We make potato pancakes the next day.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
we
shepherd's pie.
yeah.
Oh.
Like an easy shepherd's
possibilities are
pie.
endless with mashed potatoes.
Again, like
honestly.
ketchup, Worcestershire, ground beef, peas and corn from a bag,
I
like a
feel-
frozen bag.
the need to correct you though.
Oh, I know shepherd's
Really?
pie is not supposed to.
It's not shepherd's pie.
I know, because it
That's
doesn't have lamb.
Shepherd's pie is lamb because it's shepherd.
Mm.
Cottage
Yeah.
pie is beef.
Cottage
have-
pie.
Oh,
Okay.
cottage pie. I have frozen lamb in my fridge from like 4 Easters ago. I
Oh,
probably should throw that out.
Yes. No lamb. My son
No.
is. He loves a little mutton, but I'm not into
Mm.
it. It's a little too.
Mm. I made the Greek lasagna. That I forget what it's called.
Can't do it.
I did it once for Easter. I wanted to try something new.
God bless you.
Did it go
right?
over well? That's the question. Did it go over well?
I think we spent more time at Easter dinner talking about, can you taste it? I don't know. Can you taste it? I think it tastes the
I don't
same. I
like
think you can taste it. I'm like, oh God.
My neighbors know that my son loves my son's a big foodie,
Mhm.
and they'll make it and they'll bring it to the house, like a
Mhm.
big piece of it for him, and he'll have it with his like eggs and stuff in the morning. It's disgusting, but he's like,
What is mutton? What is it? Just lamb?
Lamb.
Okay.
Mutton is actually a lamb that is more than a year old,
Yes.
technically.
I only make lamb on Passover.
I love lamb. I grew to love lamb even more when I lived abroad in the
Mhm.
UK because lamb is actually more readily available. Yeah, I don't eat it much here because it's just so
Mm.
expensive. So expensive.
It's tough to get
Costco
a good-
always has tons of it at Easter, and
Really?
Passover.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we grill it. We've been putting it on the grill outside.
But I
Okay.
grew up in a hunting family. So this is the difference. Like, I grew up eating lots of varieties of things. And I also grew up on a farm. So, we raised our own hogs, beef, everything. So I learned to cook game in a way that it didn't taste gamey.
Gamey.
Mm-hmm.
My husband did too. He grew up on a great deal of deer, and I'm not a deer.
Yeah.
I'm not a deer lover. Honestly, it's tough for me.
Yeah.
I have to
Not
fake it.
everybody does. I
Yeah.
think that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, not everybody's going to be like, yeah, I'm going to get down on some venison today.
I can't. It's too much. I have to fake it for people because it's like, ugh.
Noelle, how do you fake it? You taste, you're like, nice.
You know what else he grew up having?
Hmm.
Squirrel.
Oh yeah. Yep.
As like a breakfast meat.
Wait, what did you say?
As a breakfast meat.
Wait, Noelle, I missed what you said. I didn't mean to interrupt
Ate
you.
squirrel.
Oh,
as
he
a
did. Oh, I
breakfast
thought
meat.
I was joking.
No, that's for real. And when he moved to Jersey and he was like at my parents' house, he pulled out a BB gun and started shooting squirrels from our window. I'm like, you don't want to eat the Jersey
You
squirrels.
can't do that in Jersey.
They're probably not safe to eat. They probably got some kind of hepatitis thing happening. You can't have the Jersey squirrels here.
Oh my
But like
gosh.
and he makes fun of me for liking Taylor ham. I'm like, you eat squirrel. Like
Taylor ham does not compare to squirrel.
I know, but he's like, you eat Taylor ham. That's like processed and disgusting. I'm like, yeah, but you eat squirrel. Like,
Yeah.
they eat out of garbages, and I don't know.
Yeah, they're definitely in the rodent family.
Yeah.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
don't know. Don't know how I feel about that, but
I'm sure all the listeners are like, I'm not planning on making squirrel.
yeah, I don't know. Can't do
Let's
it.
talk appliances real quick.
Oh, that's
I
good.
know.
Ooh, I just had a
Yes.
controversy.
Yes, Noelle, you were on Insta stories.
That's right. All my
Um,
reliable information.
Yes, crowdsourcing the air fryer.
I asked about the air
Yeah.
fryer because some people are like, oh my gosh, it's changed my life. And I'm hesitant to convert to the religion of air fryer because it's a big appliance. And I have an Instapot, and I feel like that's a little bit, it's too much. But I use it enough to kind of warrant its existence because I don't even have a microwave, guys. I have no microwave. It drives Kimberly crazy when she comes over because
Can't heat up my tea.
I don't have a microwave. I don't believe in it. But the air fryer people were telling me about, and when I asked the internet, there were some very strong opinions. Some people are like, "Oh yes, it's amazing. I've never eaten healthier," and a lot of people said it's big. They can't figure out how to use it. When they got it, they were burning everything, and you can't. Yeah, a lot of people said that to me, and they said you can't cook a lot of food in it. It's like you can't do a bunch at one time. That's what they said. And so I have decided to not join the cult of air fryer because I don't want another appliance because I live in a smallish cottage. I don't want it on my counter. I don't know where I'm going to store it. So I'm sticking with the Instapot. However, I did hear that the Ninja offers an Instapot / air fryer. It has like an all-in-one. And my friend uses that, and she said that has changed her life because one appliance that does many things.
Yeah.
So I may do that.
So, the air fryer, all it is a convection oven.
Yeah.
That's all it is, which is what I already have.
Well,
except for it takes so long to heat it up. It takes longer to preheat a convection oven than it does.
I know that.
Like a regular setting, right? Because you got to get to the temperature and then the fan goes. But like, I was hesitant to get the air fryer. We did get the air fryer. And so for me, like, I don't want to spend, time heating up the oven for like chicken fingers for one person. And that's where the air fryer comes in.
Right.
Lunch quickly in the morning, sweet potato fries because we have a hankering. And mine has a double layer. Like it has like a tray that goes on top so you can like stack 2 layers and there's still enough room that the air can circulate.
You keep your air fryer?
Well, I put it away every time I use it.
Okay.
And that was one condition. My husband, he loves to shop for gadgets. He got one right around Christmas, or he bought one because of Black Friday sales. And I was like, no, we're not putting this on the counter. There's nothing on the counter.
Yeah.
I said, unless you can find a place that we can store this and access it easy. Because my slow cooker's up. Like it's a thing to bring it down. Right.
Okay.
And I'm okay with that because it's worth its weight in gold.
Right.
Like it's got to be somewhere where I can put it out, clean it, put it away. Like it can't be hard. I can't move things out of the way to get it out. It just has to be easy. And he found a place. So we kept it. And
Wow.
now it's super fun to like experiment. We'll do dumplings, French fries. I heard tater tots are amazing in there. I haven't done that yet. I did salmon. So good.
I cook a lot of fish in my house.
Yeah, we don't either, but I was like,
It makes my house
it's
smell.
like a jit. It's not like a frozen, like, you know, I could list the mozzarella sticks and all the good
Right,
stuff, but like it
right.
cooks legit like food.
Some people love it. Some people
Mhm.
really love it. But for all the reasons people hate it is probably why I would hate it too. That's where I landed
Mhm.
with it.
But it's potentially something we could forget about in a year.
Really?
Well, and then be like, oh, that's right. Like we haven't used the air fryer. I could see where we could eventually like forget about it, but maybe not. I don't know.
I mean, I do use my Instapot 3 times a week.
So tell us
Yeah.
about the
Yeah.
Instapot. Jess, do you have one?
I do.
Okay,
have
tell
a
me about the
small one.
Instapot.
I have a small one, but yeah, go ahead, Noelle. I don't use mine as much as you do.
Well, I'll tell you, when I first got it, I was very intimidated by it. I didn't really use it for like 6 months because I was like, what do I do with this? And then I had a friend, Jenny, who's like a big foodie, and she's like, you need to make this pork in it. And she gave me a recipe and I followed the directions, and it's like, this pork is like crack cocaine. It is amazing. Everybody loves it. I should have gave that as a recipe, but I make it every week for the last 2 years. I've had Instapot. I make it every week, and I
Wow.
make so much that they like use it in their lunches. We do quesadillas with it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a lot of opportunity with this pork. And the thing is, it takes like an hour and 20 minutes for it to cook, and then it's beautiful and everybody's happy and people are getting along, and I love
Magic
it.
is happening.
The rice, I would burn rice every time or make soggy rice. I was not good at making rice, and because rice can be a little temperamental. Well, the Instapot makes perfect rice.
Yeah.
The Instapot makes my sweet potatoes in like nice and soft and wonderful, ready to hash in 15 minutes. Like, it is fast that way. So I do make a lot of soups in it. I make pretty much anything you'd make in a pressure cooker, but I feel like there's something about it that's a little bit better. I use it all the time now.
I love that.
That's all I can say. I mean, I don't think it's for everybody, but for us, it works great. And we use it 3 times a week.
Wow.
And I look up specific recipes for it.
Mhm.
And it's even nice to use in the summer because here in Jersey it gets really hot.
Mhm.
So it's like, I don't use my oven. I just use my Instapot, and it doesn't make my kitchen hot.
Mhm.
So
Hmm.
that's really the one gadget I use pretty regularly.
But we do have a steam oven. Our other oven is a steam convect oven.
Okay, what does that
So we
do?
can put rice into it, and it actually, like, the oven itself will infuse it with water and steam. Like it'll
Very fancy.
like the water
Kim
comes
lives in
in.
like the equivalent of the Jetsons kitchen.
Okay,
Like,
you need
for
to
real.
know. You need to know, listeners, her kitchen is like almost like commercial grade. That's where I am I crazy? You probably put the most amount of money in your kitchen when you redid the house. You've got
Of course, yeah.
you got a beautiful, because you guys are all foodie. You guys
Yeah.
care about food. It's a high value family culture.
I'm a designer, and
Yeah.
yeah.
They have a huge fridge. They've got nice ovens. They've got a great setup, like coffee bar. It's really, really, it's a lovely
Yeah.
kitchen. It's been in commercials and TV shows and
ShopRite commercials.
yeah. I mean, so
For context, for their listeners,
don't feel
yes.
bad if you don't have a steam oven is all I'm saying.
No, but there's this incredible invention that we were
Yeah.
like sucked in. It
Yeah.
was either that or it could be just, we have like an oven that's got a main oven and then a small oven on the side. Cause I did want something I could just cook some fingers or, whatever things that heat up quick. But it has this steam convection option where it will steam something. So if I want rice, I want veggies, I just throw them in, and it's in this tray with holes in them, but it fills up with water and then it steams them. But then it also has an option where it will literally, like, for example, if you want to throw a fish or chicken in there, it will steam it for you. And then you set the timer and it'll switch off and turn to convex. So it'll give it that crispy edge like that crispy outside. So it literally
Wow.
will change the function of the oven. And then when it's done, you've kind of done both. So that's a really fun
That
feature.
does sound fun.
Yeah. And we don't
It-
use it often. I would love to say we use it all the time, but we forget about it.
It's
Yeah.
probably, you know, if you're redoing your kitchen and you're trying to eat healthy, it's probably
Mm-hmm.
a good thing to have.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
For sure.
actually just got a new fridge. So these are exciting things.
They
when
matter.
you're
They
in the stage
matter.
of life. Yeah, a new fridge. It was a very joyous occasion for us.
Yeah. Well, if it makes
Yeah.
anybody feel better, we had our day off school this week. We cleaned out the fridge and I got rid of condiments from 2017. So
Wow.
Yes. That is a very real place in the fridge cleaning out stage of life for sure.
And it was one of the most exciting things we did that day. So
Sometimes I find cans of food that I'm like, ooh, I don't think I can donate this. This is really
Yeah, you're like, ah, this
really
is
old."
borderline. I think
Yeah.
when we're talking, I don't use too many appliances other than like what I would call traditional,
mhm.
appliances. But I would say equipment wise, a piece of equipment that I cannot live without is my Dutch oven, my like heavy duty,
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
you know,
I don't have one
I
of those.
I
Oh, you
use
gotta
it.
get one of those. They're awesome.
I hear about them. Tell me
Yeah,
more.
like the porcelain lined Dutch oven, heavy. I just love it. It heats evenly, it caramelizes things the way that they're meant to be caramelized. And you almost can't make a bad soup in it unless,
Yeah.
Mm.
I agree with
I
that.
just love that. I just love it so much. It really, I think it just the distribution of heat is really solid in those
Mm.
things. So
And
yeah,
that's
if
the
you're gonna,
advantage of it, right? That's why
Yeah.
it's called out. I mean, that's why you have one.
yeah, and it just keeps things, hot. Like, so if you need to, I do this all the time. I'll cook something in the afternoon. Like I'll cook a soup or a stew or something 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I just leave it on the stovetop. And by the time the kids get home or, back from sports, it's like room temperature, but it's still warm, but it's
Mm.
not like soggy for some reason.
When I
Hmm.
use my Dutch oven, I feel like I'm Julia Childs.
Yes. Inner
I
Julia.
do. I really do.
Yeah, we
I
have
feel
not
like-
splurged on one of those.
Oh, you gotta splurge on one. You
Yeah.
get them at Home Goods for like nothing these days.
This
Oh,
is
look
true.
now.
Yeah.
One of the other features I do have on my stove, if you put it on the extra low simmer setting, we have gas. It'll like click on and cook for 4 minutes, and then it'll click off for 4 minutes, and then it'll click back on, reignite for 4 minutes. So you can simmer something for like 2 hours. So if you're having a party where you've got chili on the stove, it just sort of keeps it warm.
That's amazing.
You and your fancy stove. Stop it.
I'm just saying, if anybody's in the market for a stove, there are features that are
No, it's good.
delightful.
Everyone listening is going to say, Kim, can you please throw the stove, the spaceship stove in the show notes, please?
Follow me on Instagram.
Yeah, that's a good
And then
story.
one more feature, the oven, we did the oven, the hood.
Yeah.
So there's these 2 racks that fold up and then like they fold down. And so like, as I'm cooking like eggs or I'm doing batches of chicken cutlets, I can put them on a plate. I put them on the shelf and I have heat lamps that will like a diner. So they'll sit under the heat lamps while I'm waiting to like add to the dish. I mean, we're like
The next time that I am in New Jersey, I for sure am going to Kim's house.
you better.
You need to.
And, I need to have dinner. I need to see
Mhm.
all of these things.
Mhm.
You need to use every feature though of that
Yeah.
stove and that dish, or I'm gonna be disappointed.
Well, I
It'll be
would
worth
say if
nothing
you,
to me.
yeah, I guess that the end point would be if you have the opportunity to make your cooking life easier.
Yeah.
And there are features or functions or gadgets or appliances, go for it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, for us,
Ah,
it was really worth it because we enjoy cooking. It's a central part of our family culture. And if it makes it enjoyable, if it makes it excellent, if it's in our budget, like we want to lean into that. So these little things are worth getting if they.
Hey, did you guys know? I did not know this. In a regular stove, right?
Mhm.
okay.
Not a built-in oven, but like the stove top and the oven underneath it, a range. That's what it's called, I believe.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
in a traditional range, the drawer at the bottom of the stove, right? They all have that drawer that opens up
Mhm.
underneath the oven. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about? Am I
Yeah.
talking?
The
Yeah, okay.
broiler?
No,
No, it's not a
no,
broiler,
it's like a storage drawer,
but it's not. It's a warming
warming
drawer,
drawer.
automatically built into like all of these ranges. I had no idea.
I don't have a drawer on my stove.
Really?
I don't.
Like,
Oh,
like that you don't pull out. And most of the time people like store cookie sheets and stuff in there.
like even
but
cheap, like on the low end, those
Yeah.
stoves will have it. I mean, I
Yeah.
have a warming drawer too,
I don't have it. And
Wow,
I'm
that's so
not happy
sad.
but
about
I
this.
won't, growing up, we always used it for storage.
Yeah, so did I.
My mom has it,
Okay.
but she just uses, I don't know. I don't even know what she uses it for.
She probably puts her extra pots and pans in there. That's what
I'm
everyone
gonna
did.
check now.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go see what she keeps in there now. But no, we don't have one. We have a, I don't know. We have a built-in stove. I don't know.
Now we're
Oh,
gonna
if
go
you
check
have
out
it-
our stove.
It's not fancy like Kimberly's, but it doesn't have a drawer. So I don't know.
All right. Well, this is interesting. I've learned a few things, got a few tips. Anybody else?
Yes.
Yes.
I am doing the chickpea feta roasting
Mhm.
ASAP. That's
You're
gonna
gonna love
happen
it.
stat.
You're
I
gonna
can't
love
wait.
it.
All right. And I'll do my best to get some of these recipes and links to some of the things we've talked about in the show notes, especially the meal prep app.
Yes.
Email.
Emails.
Emails.
Yep.
Email.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Show Jess some love and sign up for it.
Yes, please.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, ladies. This is fantastic.
Thanks.
You.